All right, first off, I want to thank the grace of heaven and the virtues of the masters, the grand predecessor and predecessors and transmitting masters and everyone here to talk about senior or elder transmitter Tsui, who some of you know, but a lot new people probably never met him. And so I think it's important that we understand how we got the Tao, right? So this is part of the lineage, our Tao lineage, how the Tao was, passed on down. And so transmitter Tsui was, well, he's visited in Taiwan, but he was like in our main temple in Taiwan. Okay, so he was cultivating and practicing with our predecessor, okay, and grand predecessor. So his age, he was basically at their age, that rough same generation, that is. And so just like our senior transmitter Jin here, I think they're basically the same age. Okay, so you can say that's the previous generation. So what I'm going to do is show this video here, this video clip, and then I have a couple of videos, and then it's in Chinese, but I'll narrate. I was furiously translating yesterday, but so it's kind of a rough translation. But all right, so let me just play this. Okay, I'm not going to do the volume too loud on this one because it's Chinese anyways. Okay, so elder transmitting master Tsui, his name is Seng De. He was born in 1925 on the lunar date of 217 in Hebei province in Sanhe County. His father's name was Guang, and he was a teacher. His mother's name was Lu, and she also assisted in teaching children. She was graceful, gentle, and kind-hearted. He had one older sister, 3 younger sisters. Since childhood, he studied the 4 books with his father. Since then, he had endless respect for the demeanor of saints and sages. Okay. And in his heart and mind of a child, he had this aspiration to follow the ways of the saints and sages. All right. So when he was 19, right, his affinity ripened. Okay, so his second younger sister was in Beijing, came back home, and told him about the Tao. So I guess she had received the Tao there, and how Tao was so great. And so, based on what his sister is telling him, that he went to receive the Tao in 1943, in June 28. Okay. So after receiving the Tao, elder transmitter, he profoundly experienced and realized that the great Tao surpassed the mundane, right, and entered into the saintly. So thereafter, he aspired to sincerely cultivate and practice Tao. Okay, in 1945, he attended a 6-day Dharma class. Back then, 6 days, right? So actually, before that, it was even longer. But in Beijing, and through the merciful revelations of the Buddhas and saints, right, through their channeling, he was so moved that he took the 6 vows, or I don't know how many vows they had then, but he took all the vows in the Dharma class. Okay, so today we have 6. Okay, so basically he thought that because Tao is so great and precious, right, life's most important matter should be to let more people receive the Tao and save all sentient beings, right? So as a result, he quit his job and wholeheartedly spent his time to cultivate and propagate the Tao, unconditionally dedicating himself to the Tao community. Now, he was one of the, he had only one mind to perform heaven's work and to pioneer the Tao and fairy sentient beings. However, the opportunity wasn't there yet for him to fulfill his aspiration, carry out his aspiration. So at that time, he reluctantly joined the Air Force, right? And later on was dispatched to Taiwan, okay? So at that point, he lost complete contact with his home. In 1951, because of his affinity, he met this transmitter Lin, right, who introduced him to the grand predecessor, expressing his will to cultivate, propagate, and pioneer the Tao. Right, he followed practicing with the grand predecessor. Afterwards, because the elder transmitter, he wasn't that healthy or something, right, he took leave from the military service, okay, to recuperate. And then so the grand predecessor then assigned him to Tainan. So I guess grand predecessor was in maybe the north. He assigned him to the south of Taiwan, Tainan, to follow our predecessor Liu. Okay, so that's our predecessor, to cultivate and propagate the Tao. But they were at that time, the situation. Let me maybe pause this for a second. Basically, it's very, this is like 19. This is
50s.
Probably around 50s. Okay, because it was after 51. Okay, so there's martial law in Taiwan. Okay, because it's the Kuomintang, they're there, and then the nationalists, and then the communists are in China, right? So they have martial law, and basically, and the economy was in shambles. It's pretty bad, right? So there's inflation and all that, and devaluation of the currency that they brought from China. Okay, so basically they're all poor. Okay, so these predecessors who came from China to Taiwan, it's a very difficult time for them. So they had to learn how to support themselves in the temple, right? And so they had to. So here it's talking about they're learned to make, in his case, this spiced bean curd, dried tofu. Okay, so every day early in the morning they would go out to the residential neighborhoods carrying the baskets of the tofu to sell, and basically even when it got to lunchtime, right, they were they're hungry, but they wouldn't dare to eat any of the tofu that they were meaning to sell, right, because that would be for the temple, and they would even be reluctant to buy steamed buns to eat for themselves. So basically they would go all day hungry. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So now later on in August 1951, okay, the government decreed that anyone who was able-bodied, right, who didn't retire from the military and wasn't discharged, that they have to go back and serve. Okay, so elder transmitter, he had to go back to the military and serve again. So after many years of experiencing hardships and trials, right, it only strengthened his will and steadied his mindset, Tao mindset, to be able to continue to cultivate, right? So despite being in the midst of such privation, he had this unwavering aspiration, eventually becoming a pillar in the Tao community. Okay. So after he retired from the military service, right, under the guidance of the grand predecessor here, elder transmitter, again, he was instructed to return to the south of Taiwan, Tainan. In August 23rd, in 1962, that's when he became a transmitter. Okay, he received the mandate to become a transmitter. And so at that time, there were other Daokins and also other transmitter Wang, transmitter Huang, and other temple hosts. They gradually expanded the Tao affairs in the Tao community. So elder transmitter, he would follow our predecessor, right? They would ride their bicycles to various villages or towns nearby, actually, and basically to encourage and to inspire these Tao kin. Okay, so gradually these Tao communities start expanding. Elder transmitter also, he traveled from Tainan to various other places, Fengshan, Jiayi, and Douliu. Right, these are, remember, he's riding bicycle, and those are like 30 miles, 50 miles away, so imagine that, right, to attend the classes, okay, so because even as transmitter, they needed to attend some classes to learn more, and so his spirit of eagerness to learn while not being afraid of the hardships and difficulties is a model for us to follow and learn. Okay. So the universal propagation of Tao created a tower of strength and whirlwind, but also created some doubts and suspicions, okay. So again, because of that martial law and all that, right, it's difficult. Hold on a second. Let's pause this. That gatherings, they were, and there were actually many trials and tribulations because the government cracking down on these assemblies of people, right? Because they're afraid of spies, from the communists, and so they would arrest these temple members who are gathering together for, meetings or classes, and also that. But anyways. There's a saying that says, right, from the ancient times, it says, the true Tao will always have true tests and trials. Okay, so basically, that's the reason why those tests and trials are to prove your faith, really. Basically, it's just prove your faith and sincerity and your will to continue, right? So the burden of these tests and trials were shouldered by our predecessor, okay, the true sage of great virtue. And because of such overwhelming pressure on him, right, our predecessor, right, he was overworked and became ill, right? Well, that's part of the reason, okay? And then, okay, so our predecessor, he passed away in 1972, returned to heaven, okay? And so that the heavy responsibility of leading the Tao community then under this temple fell to our elder transmitter. Okay, so the elder transmitter, they tried to help. Now, on December 12, 1974, the grand predecessor was invited to preside over the dedication ceremony of Tongyi Shrine. Okay, I say the Tongyi Shrine, basically, I use the word shrine to distinguish from a temple. Like, temple is more bigger. Shrine is like a home temple. You can call it a shrine. So it's a smaller thing. That's how it started. Okay, and because everyone, all the Tao members, they were involved, and also because of the protection and blessing from our predecessor, the true sage of great virtue. Remember, he's already returned to heaven. That the Tao affairs, the Tao community started going on track. Okay, so so through many years of hard work, right, many talented individuals were trained, and the Tao kin numbers, they multiplied. All right, so one after another, Tao kin were inspired and motivated to contribute towards the construction of a large temple. Right, therefore, in 1986, grand predecessor was invited to break ground. Under the guidance of grand predecessor transmitters, and Tao kin earnestly planned, the construction of the temple. So over 5 years, everyone wholeheartedly invested themselves into that temple's construction. In February of 1991, grand predecessor was invited again to dedicate this temple. Right, so the temple is basically this Tongyi temple. Now we call it Tongyi Gong, Tongyi Temple. Okay. So that's our main temple in Taiwan and Tainan, okay? Yeah, this one, okay, so then, right, because Yifu Gong is in Jiali, it's north of Tainan, okay? But because of their need also, because the Tao community there was growing, they also wanted to build a temple. So that's this Yifu Gong, okay? And so they were also inspired and motivated to contribute to the construction of this temple. And the temple was also completed in January 1994. Again, grand predecessor presided over that, saying basically, he's following this motto of basically carrying on the cause and forging ahead into the future. When we drink the water, think of the source. Okay, so again, basically, we want to continue the spirit of Tao cultivation and propagation by our predecessor, true sage of great virtue. So on November 9th, 1996, a memorial hall was dedicated in Tongyi Temple, leaving behind an eternal example for those who come after, to be able to recall our predecessor with gratitude. Okay. So now, upon instruction from the Holy Teacher on February 15, 2009, this Shangyuan Memorial Hall was dedicated, right? Thus fulfilling our predecessor's wish. So our predecessor had this wish for this memorial hall, the Shangyuan, this memorial hall is basically a place, it's a final resting place, okay? It's like a mausoleum. Okay, it's a final resting place for Tao members who they wish to be interred, their ashes can be interred in this memorial hall. Okay, so that's what you see back here. These are all various like little cubbies for the this is near Yifu Gong. Okay, yeah. So but basically yeah, so that's what that is. All right.
Is it part of the same building as
no. It's a separate different location. Yeah.
Everybody can buy a place there. Yeah, you can buy small.
Yeah, it's like place. I don't know how much is it, $300 or something. I don't know.
About $3,000 is about $40,000 to $60,000.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, you mean Taiwan dollars?
Taiwan, so about maybe $1,500 US dollar.
Okay.
You can buy a space there for your own location. Yeah.
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 Yeah, so
It's open to our Dao member now.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's like a stupa.
Yeah, so when our elder transmitter Tsui, when he passed away, his ashes are also interred there. Okay, so all right. Okay, so now let me continue here. So the Dao community established its roots in the Tongyi Shrine, right, the original temple, small temple. Followed by the expansion of Tongyi Temple, right, the Tongyi Gong and Yufo Gong, right? So they went to the north in Taoyuan and Taipei, and also to overseas, right? In like America, that's here. This is here. Okay, so this where
Everybody in there?
this was in. Well, this is I don't know when this was taken, but
Probably a while back.
but
It was
thi-
2004.
no, this is not from 204.
Oh, this is after.
This is
After, I see.
Yeah. But basically, right, this temple here was it says rededicated in 2004 because it existed before. It was downstairs before this was built. Okay, so, but
This was downstairs?
no, this is up here. This is up here. Okay. So, and Holy Teacher specified that, this would be the headquarters of this Fai Tongyi line that we're in, this lineage in the U.S., okay? Right? Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, he's right here.
There's transmitter Yang over there, right, Tai?
Where?
Yang.
No, this is light. This is light. This,
Lai Jingli.
oh, what do you mean?
杨博士.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean
isn't
him?
over there?
That's Huang. That's
Oh,
Huang.
Huang博士. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Gene, there's, what's his name?
What?
From Dominican Republic.
Who? Oh, Jose.
Oh, why?
Juan.
Juan.
What is there?
Where?
Yeah, right there.
Where?
And Pablo is there.
Front row.
Oh, there's
Pablo's in
Pablo.
the front row.
I
That's
don't
Pablo.
see one.
Where's
Where?
Juan?
I don't see
In the
Juan.
back? No.
I don't see Juan.
Okay.
Oh,
Pablo.
this is Julio. That's Julio.
Julio. Oh, that's Julio? Yeah.
That's
Where
Julio.
is you? Oh, this is a while ago.
Yeah, maybe I snapped the picture.
Where is you in the picture?
I don't know.
I think.
I don't think.
Yeah, I.
Okay, all right. Let me continue here.
完工重新安坐。
All right.
活佛恩师
So also, and then
为
there's
发一
also
体美
after
国
this,
道
there's
场之
also
总坛俄亥俄州有天然寺
Tiannan
加
Temple
州有
in
玉里
Ohio,
佛
and
院
then also
目前台湾
this is the new one. That was the old one,
玻利维亚
and then
Oh, that was the old one.
also
有德明大仙
Is your
净
grandmama?
sorry, and then there's also Yiling Foryan in California. Okay, so over these years, there was also a few people who obviously passed away. Our predecessors, you can say, yeah, those who came before us, including the what we just saw there, Gran.
开荒至南美洲玻利
It's
维
the,
亚
what we call the
期间
immortal
有德
Deming.
明
Okay,
大
so
仙
she's my grandmother. Okay, so she passed away in 2002.
净化大仙
And
忠义
the previous my mother, who was Jinghua, and then this is Michael O. Okay, so he was a Dao member. He was maybe a temple host.
9/11.
Temple host. But
Yeah.
he passed away in 9/11 in the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, second tower.
Yeah.
So you can see out there the poster he has. Okay, so they've all attained, well, we call them immortal or saint status in heaven. So this is kind of proof that through cultivation we can achieve that. Okay, so it's not just we cultivate, we have no idea what's going to happen, but yeah, if we, cultivate the virtues and merits, we can achieve,
大仙
have
等
attainment.
成仙之正宴
All，right. So
成
they
全一方道情
now
无数
when
期间德明大仙
basically my grandmother and my mother passed away. So it's 2002 and then 2003. Sorry, yeah. Elder transmitter did come over from Taiwan to attend the memorial services. Okay, to pay his respects. So I was touched by that.
They will be 1 year apart.
Yeah, 1 year apart.
Yeah.
净化大仙成道时，他老都亲临致祭，举行宫殿仪式
哎，
情意感人。
Okay, so in 2010, the World Iguan Dao headquarters, they held an event in New York, okay, Queens College, basically to commemorate the 80th anniversary of our 18th patriarch, matriarch, receiving their mandate for this universal salvation. And the elder transmitter was invited to preside over the activities, including a sand writing communion with our grand predecessor, who then already passed away. Okay, so he's already, well, his title is Baisui Sendi, which is, I don't know, Sendi, but anyways, that's his title,
Emperor.
heaven. So there was a sand writing we held there at the college. And then so basically, the idea is to have all these different Tao lineages, Tao groups, branches of the lineage in America, kind of working together in harmony for that. All right. Now this is in Malaysia, the Tsui Holy Temple. Okay, so this is again the result of elder transmitters urging and supervision, along with participation by Daokin everywhere. So actually you can see it's kind of modeled on our temple here, the way it looks, the altar.
So this is later.
Yeah, this is later. Basically the design of at least the altar is very similar to ours.
The wood is a little different.
Okay, but obviously they have a bigger space.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought their temple was pretty big.
Yeah, it's bigger. Okay,
Have
so
you been there?
although there were many difficulties in getting the temple constructed and established, the elder transmitter always had faith in heaven and led the followers to easily solve the problems. So finally, on July 18, 2009, the temple was completed and dedicated. Right? They even had some local, legislative members, from the legislature attending and giving congratulations.
各国道亲均前往祝贺，当地议长、议员、各祖先代表莅临祝贺，可谓盛况空
It's
前。
pretty high. Yeah. Okay, so in New Zealand, right, Holy Teacher gave the name of Zhonghua Seng Dao Yuan, or Holy Dao Temple, to commemorate the Holy Matriarch. Right, Holy Teacher instructed the elder transmitter to complete the temple in 2 years. Right, so he took on the entire responsibility, and finally, April 2012, the temple was completed and ready for use. Okay, so this is the one. Yeah, so we've been there. Yeah, so that's.
中华圣道院正式启
Well, we went there in 2014.
Oh, 14, sorry.
Okay, so after pioneering Dao in Indonesia, right? So in Indonesia, many years. Okay, then there's a Chunhui Ruyan was completed.
又拓展
Okay, Chunhui Ruyan. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That might be in like Jakarta, or I don't know where the main place. But then later on, in another part of Indonesia, in part of Borneo, okay, yeah, they established another temple, Sende Temple. So that's named after our elder transmitter. So it's not we named it. The Holy Teacher, the Buddha's, heaven named the temples. Okay. So named it after him. So basically, Holy Teacher said,
乃是老
your
典
elder
之
transmitter took
慧
pains for dozens of years, so now I give you Sende Temple to
你们
remind
老典
you,
传师
right,
辛苦
to
为
basically
众
be
生
grateful
积
and
蓄
think of the source when you drink
所
the
以
water.
赐
Okay.
给你们
So this
圣
proves
德
that
佛
elder
堂
transmitter's hard
是
work
让
has
你
been
们
affirmed
懂
by
得
heaven.
感恩
Right.
饮水思源
Right. So elder transmitter encouraged the newly mandated transmitting masters pioneered Dao overseas. Following his instructions, the
他老鼓
transmitters
励心灵命
they
的天
then
主
went
师
to like
要
Vietnam,
出国
Hong Kong,
开
Macau
创
to
心典传师
spread
即
the Dao.
遵照他老
Okay,
指
so
示
and even
开
in
创了
Macau,
越南、港、
okay,
澳
so
因道路
Macau
进
they're
展
they're
目前
talking
澳
about
门
trying to
也已
establish
积极
a
策划
build a large
新建
temple
大
there.
佛堂
Actually, this I guess was recorded in 2013. So since then they have built. I don't know it was built. It was they probably bought this temple there in Macau. It's called Le Dao Fo Yuan. Okay, so it's,
really?
again it's named after our elder transmitter. But after he passed away, he attained that title. Basically, the joyful Dao, the true sage of joyful Dao. Okay, so he's got 2 temples named after him, right? And then in 2007, they started pioneering Dao in Cambodia as well. Okay, so after 2 years, there were so many Dao kin that Holy Teacher gave them gave the name of Da De Fo Yuan. Okay, so that's named after our predecessor. Okay, so again, that previous one in Indonesia was also named after our predecessor. So he also has 2 temples named after him. So this one, of course, is his title, posthumous title. Okay, so again, is to remind everyone to follow the example of the true sage of great virtues, spirit of cultivation and propagating Dao. Okay, on August 28th in 2012, groundbreaking took place for the new temple, right? Elder transmitter, at that time, he wasn't feeling, this is like 1 year before he passed, or within a year.
Where is this time?
This is in Cambodia.
Oh, Cambodia.
Okay, so this, so the breaking ground for the
Right.
building the temple. His health was not that good, so you can see he's a lot thinner,
Yeah.
frail.
He lost weight.
He lost a lot of weight. Okay, and so, but he went there. So this is the last time that he went overseas, and his last picture taken of him overseas. Okay.
留下他老此生
Okay,
最后
so
一次在
elder transmitter, he also traveled overseas for 101 times over 20 years. Okay, so over the years, he would insist on traveling to and presiding over the Dharma classes worldwide. He would always say, we are the beneficiaries of so much of heaven's grace and the Master's virtues. So long as I am able to, and no matter how far I must go, no matter how tired I am, I will not be afraid. Right? Upon hearing this, his followers are certainly reluctant to lose him and admire his spirit of sacrifice for ascension beings. Okay. Right.
Wow, he's very thin, Tom.
Yeah, so but then, all right, so yeah, before he was a little bit portly, okay, but he really lost a lot of weight at the end. Now, I wanted to mention something. So these names of the temples, all right, it's interesting because it's like our golden thread. Okay, we have Maitreya here, Happy Buddha Temple, Maitreya. We have Holy Teacher in Ohio, the Tendan-su, that's his title, and what is Buddha title, okay? And we also have Zonghua Samada, which is the matriarch in New Zealand, okay?
Auckland, yeah.
So there's patriarch and matriarch.
So there's a lineage.
And then we have the grand predecessor in California, okay? So Yuling Foryan, okay? Then we have the predecessor, true sage of great virtue, so in Indonesia and also in Cambodia. And then also our elder transmitter, Tsui, he's also got one in Indonesia and also Macau, okay?
Macau.
And then now, more recently, we have Jinghua Fotang in San Diego as well, in California. So that is, again, one you can say, yeah, I mean, that's the next level down below the predecessor and trader and Master Tsui. Okay, so that's kind of reminding us this is our lineage, where we come from. So always reminding us to think of, how we got here. Okay. So that's a very important thing.
Thread.
Yeah, it's part of our golden thread. So that's very important. If we lose grasp of the golden thread, it's hard to return. Let's put it that way.
So that's why the golden thread is very important. And this is another way heaven is reminding us. You can say reminding us as cultivators that, hey, this golden thread is important.
Right.
And to show that it's true, and to show that it's true by Holy Teacher naming these temples after these particular people.
Right.
Make sense? So that's an indication. So people doubt, say, hey, you go to, how do you know your golden thread is real? Right? Because you claim it. But you say, no, we don't claim it. We say, this is what Holy Teacher said. And you can point to these temple names. Make sense? Actually, all these titles, you're right. It's Sambhogakaya.
Yeah.
It's Sambhogakaya. Because when you reach Buddha, Rulai, you can say Rulai. Actually, it has no name.
Yeah, there's no title.
There's no name. Because once you have a name, it's differentiation. Get it? It's all really indescribable one or whatever.
Yeah, the Sambhogakaya is the perfect reward body. Okay,
all these names, like all the Buddha lands, Amitabha, whoever, all these, and also these, celestial heaven names. That's all Sambhogakaya.
Is that Fasen you're talking about?
No, that's Baosen.
Yeah, it is Baosen. Right, it's the reward body. It's the reward body.
Yeah, Dharmakaya has no name.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, no title.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to skip the rest of that video and go to this one. This one's more so that was kind of like the history. This one's more from expressing of the gratitude from the followers. Okay. So basically, so it's going to repeat a little bit here, but in a bit. Saying basically he's born in 1925. Okay. But basically, in 2013, January 8th, he passed on and returned to heaven. Okay. So since receiving the Tao, right, he wholeheartedly followed and practiced Tao, leading the Fayi Tongyi branch, right? That's our lineage for 40 years. Okay. So basically, 40 years. Remember, our predecessor passed away in 1972. So he's been leading us for the next 40 years since then. Okay, so, right. So he experienced many difficulties and hardships. In the end, his achievements can be seen today in the flourishing Tao communities worldwide. Okay.
Hey, where's that?
This
Taiwan? That was in Taiwan, right?
What?
Previous slide.
Previous thing? Oh, I don't know.
That's Taiwan.
Oh, that was 10 yen for yen. I think.
Oh,
Okay. So with love and mercy, he took care of his followers, a life of promulgating the great Tao, fearing sentient beings, and dedication and sacrifice. Right? In giving such boundless love, everyone is so touched. We owe a debt of gratitude as heavy as a mountain. We can never forget it. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm ahead of the
众仙菩萨、诸天神圣的护佑，老前人与前人大德在天。
Okay, right. So the reason why our Tao community can be so grand, besides the grace of heaven and mercies of the masters, the support and protection of multitudes of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the great virtues of our grand predecessors and predecessors, because of the kind, loving mercy of this one leader. He led and guided transmitting masters and followers to constantly promote the Tao affairs. Right? With mercy and great love, he pioneered Tao communities in Taiwan and worldwide, giving rise to many talented cultivators of Tao. He traveled to many places to propagate Tao and fairy sentient beings, always tireless, right? Sparing no pains and not afraid of long journeys. Encouraging and guiding Tao members worldwide with only one thought, to have sentient beings transcend the suffering and Tao affairs to flourish and become great. So a lifetime of venerating Holy Teacher's merciful vow, adopting Holy Teacher's aspiration as his own, right? Following the ways of Holy Teacher to ferry people and save the world. Never seeking merits or achievements, only to repay that debt of gratitude. He always said his whole life is dedicated to performing heaven's work and Holy Teacher's work. Cultivating and propagating Tao with a spirit of having true heart and no second thoughts. Right, so that makes him even more worthy for us to follow as a role model. Okay, so never a complaint or regret, never ceasing that sincerity with wholehearted effort and exerting himself to the utmost. Okay, so now it's you can see here talk here. Okay, so he says, thank the grace of heaven and the Holy Teacher for putting us on the path of salvation. To be able to have the Tao communities we have today is not due to our own efforts, but due in great part to our predecessor, okay, in heaven, who's been pleading with Lamu God and also our Holy Teacher. Okay, so as a Tao cultivator, we must constantly maintain a heart of gratitude, constantly repay the grace of heaven and virtues of the masters. It is everyone's responsibility to truly put in the hard work and effort to make Tongyi Temple great and magnificent. Okay, so we must put in greater effort. Holy Teacher established the study of the true nature or Buddha nature class, right, to teach us how to cultivate our soul or Buddha nature. Holy Teacher also established the temple rules and proprieties class for us to unify our practice of propriety. So that's why there's that book that kind of, because before it was kind of different places maybe did things slightly differently, and now it's unified. Okay, our proprieties.
The red book.
Yeah. So Holy Teacher also gave us many treasured calligraphy scrolls and holy books. Okay. Among the books, the most important, he says, Miming Sangdi Liang Qing Xu. I don't know. I've never seen that book, but again, it's based on scriptures. Okay. Then the second is one called Sijie Da Tong, the World of Great Harmony. Again, these are
the big one. Big one. Right. Yeah, it's big, right? Round.
Okay, so it's got many of these marvelous scriptures in it. The very long one that basically, the World of Great Harmony, that's the ideal of great harmony that Confucius wrote, right? So that's all in the marvelous scripture. Okay, so. And then there are other books, like let's see, like Wan Shi Lui or Len Cai Shou Zi or Lian Hua Dou De Kai. All these books that. These are just compilations of the scriptures from the Buddhas and saints from just channeling during Dharma classes, for example. Okay, so Holy Teacher, he gave us also treasured calligraphy scrolls. I don't know, we don't have it hanging here, but the books and scrolls were all produced in Tongyi, our Tongyi Gong temple. These are all the result of Holy Teacher's support and assistance to let the world know about our temple. Okay. So it is also because of illumination by our great virtue of our predecessor that we are here today. So we have a great predecessor who is in heaven, who is still supporting us. Having the achievements of today, we truly must be grateful and repay the debt of gratitude. This is my only wish. So, so as a true cultivator, he's not thinking of himself, he just wants to, this is what we call Buddha, we kind of praise our predecessor, right? Those who came before us, their virtues, their merits, that, we sing their praises, okay, so to speak. That we talk about their, so that's why we don't do that enough, actually. We should talk more about these people who come before us, the predecessors, their sacrifice, and all their virtues and merits, okay? Because without them, we wouldn't have today, okay? So again, think of the source, right? In my life, right, I realized that cultivating Tao is not easy. Cultivation shapes and refines us because we have important responsibilities in the future. My holy teacher said, continue to do good work. There are many things for you to do. So I'm extremely grateful for holy teacher's mercy. My holy teacher extended his life, okay? Holy teacher always encourages and exhorts us to work hard at cultivating and propagating Tao. There are many works for me to do. So I want to take this opportunity to thank the mercy of heaven, the care given by our holy teacher and holy matriarch. Only because of them that we have today. I wish that everybody can work together and repay the grace of heaven and the virtues of masters. Right? Do not disappoint our predecessor in heaven. Okay? Because he's like working so hard to try to plead with God and plead with the Buddhas and saints to let us, be able to grow and progress. Okay, so we have to work hard to accomplish what we are supposed to do. Only in this way can we be worthy and not be a letdown to not only ourselves, heaven, holy teacher, holy matriarch, and our ancestors. Okay, so we don't want to disappoint them. So have a great responsibility and duty to shoulder this over a long, arduous journey. This path of cultivation is to the end of our lives. Okay, it's true that whoever cultivates attains. Okay. And whoever propagates achieves. So I hope that we can all make great efforts in forging our own future, attain great achievements, and finally return to heaven. So again, cultivation is not, coming to class is one thing, is to learn, but then we need to practice, to cultivate, the internal side and the external. External also, to ferry sentient beings, right? We're not just doing it for ourselves. We have to help all sentient beings, just like they've done. They sacrificed basically everything to help other sentient beings. Okay. All right. So the departure of our elder transmitter Tsui from this world has caused much grief and sorrow among his followers. Okay. The partings and reunions or vicissitudes of life are but a natural and unavoidable process and occurrence. We followers, as always, find it difficult to express our reluctance to part with him. Okay, just like being in the vast ocean without a light beacon to guide us. Right? Losing someone like a kind, loving father who we depended on so much. Okay, we followers are so apprehensive. However, from beginning to end, you always have vigorously told us that we must have faith and confidence, right, in the Tao, and to firmly continue on this path. So again, encouraging us to continue. Therefore, we as members of the Tongyi lineage definitely will not be filled with sorrow or lose the will to carry on. We will transform our grief into strength and continue your spirit of Tao cultivation and practice with great love, not to let you worry, and to let the Tao community grow and mature to be healthier and stronger than ever, so that the Tao community can continue and carry on forever. So to repay heaven's grace, the virtues of holy teacher and matriarch, grand predecessor and predecessor, and even to repay your or his, we're talking about him, loving kindness. Today's farewell, even though we will not see your kind smile again, we will always be taken under your wing. Your great grace and virtue will be difficult to repay. We followers are deeply thankful to you and will always miss you. wishing you attainment in heaven while having great recognition in the world. Virtues benefiting all and attainments lasting for thousands of years. So this is kind of from the point of view of followers, we're kind of expressing our thanks. Okay, so, all right. So, so that's kind of the, there's some more, well, the time is getting short too, but basically, some of our older members, have, experienced that we met him and, have interaction with him and all that. Maybe in some of the pictures you saw, like, he's making like dumplings or these buns. He would always do that. He did that once here. Yeah, he can cook. And, so like when we went to Taiwan, always, he would also cook some of these things. I remember, I forgot which time it was, but he made, basically, it was, I think they were steam buns, or either steam buns or dumplings, I forgot. But he made it with using dill weed. Wow, it was so great. It's so delicious. Yeah, it's just the filling is just using dill, dill weed. Okay, so it's like, wow, it's very tasty. Wow, so good. But yeah, he's like that kind father. It's like, the family visiting from afar, and he would always cook for them. And wow, so it's just really very kind and merciful.
He made over here in one of the Dharma class. He made these huge fried vegetable. I don't know, like a dumpling, but huge, this size. Okay, wow. One is one meal, but it's fried inside. It's all different vegetables. It was so delicious. I wanted a second one, but it looked so greedy. I just ate one. I will never forget how delicious it was.
Yeah.
Ask for recipe.
And then in Amy's temple, one morning in breakfast, he goes, okay, I'm gonna make breakfast today. So he made some salping. What's salping?
Pancakes, yeah.
Yeah, and he taught us how to do it. It was very simple, but now I forgot.
Did he put in the oven?
No, he pan fried it. Very light and very delicious. Yeah, there was no cheese to it, but it was very delicious.
Okay, I'm just gonna play this in the background. This is like, okay, so I made this video basically of some pictures from his visits to the U.S. He came, well, many times, but I think the first time was like '87 that you saw there. So this is our Tongde temple. It was in a house, okay, on Nagundo Avenue here before this was established. And here, this was downstairs here. Okay, so then 1997 was the first Dharma class held downstairs here. Okay, so yeah, he would get involved a lot in people like establishing temples, or here, he would personally involved in picking out like the statues and things like that, the altar stuff. That's, yeah, she's there. Yeah, she was in that class. Okay. Yeah. And that's Lordiness. Okay, that's Lordiness.
That's right there? I didn't recognize her.
She still has black hair.
So, and then there's, they traveled also in the U.S. back then. They did go to Oklahoma. Okay, it's also 97. I didn't go that time. I wasn't.
We need to wait, right?
Yeah. And 98 is the second Dharma class. That's Yang Jingli. Now he would always give the filial piety taught in Chinese. Okay, the Dharma class. Okay. Now this is downstairs in the back. So back then, well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So this is the Negundo, the yard in front of the Negundo house. So yeah. So you know, there are many. Actually, back then we had probably like at one time like three Dharma classes or 4 in 1 year. Okay, because there are a lot of people. This is what we call the Miao Di. That was at one point there was this affinity where basically, you know, they thought, well, you can buy this piece of land. It's in New Jersey, West Milford, New Jersey.
Oh, right.
Now the thing is, that land, you know, so people thought, wow, that's great, you know, and in the Chinese they translated as, you know, Xi Mila, okay, or Mila, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like they use the Maitreya name, and it's like West, you know, like Western Heaven. Okay, so they were all gung ho, you know, wanted to buy this land, and they even did an auction to raise money for it. You know, Holy Teacher actually drew some stuff, painted stuff to auction off to raise money. But in the end, it didn't work out. I mean, we did buy the land, but then there were some issues, and then so anyways, it was later just given to another group, Dao group, to take care of. Okay, so no, as far as I know, I don't know, because it became like a big money sink. Okay, so 1999. Okay, so he passed away. This is transmitter Zhen. Yeah, this is 龙的男子. Yeah, that's huh?
That's Laura.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Laura.
Laura.
秦姐，
秦
坛主。
Oh, here. Sorry. Yeah, she's over here. Which one? This one?
Yeah, who is she?
That's Qi.
She went to the post office?
Oh,
Ji.
Who-
She went to North Carolina. Okay.
Oh, she's in North Carolina.
That's transmitter Ray. Okay.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's yours truly. So.
I'm camera shy.
He was in another one, I think. So there's Ray again. There's Mike Zendenaza. There's me. Okay. So I had longer hair back then. Okay.
Paul's in the back. Paul behind you.
Yeah. Paul. Yeah, Paul was been back
Oh,
then.
that's a long time. 小于经理，于经理嘛。
Yeah.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Patricia is it?
Yeah.
The whole
Who's Patricia?
the white one. Patricia. She was there. She came from the
So these are some pictures from the memorial service for the grandmother. Okay, Dumming Daxian. Okay. Yes. By the way, these 4 songs were composed by, to commemorate our elder transmitter when he passed away. These are written by, there's Dao Kin. Okay, so the family here. Okay. Well, Kai, I didn't see Kai. He wasn't.
Oh, it's camera shy.
So this is the old Tongde temple. So that's transmitter Lin there. There's Jean.
Oh my God.
Judy.
That Long Jing, right?
That was Jean.
No, that's not Long Jing.
It's still Gene there.
Yeah. Now this is in Tongde.
Oh, really? Negundo?
So this is downstairs, 2 down 2. There's Johnny. And there's Kai. Yeah, look at that smirk on his face. Yeah. Alright, so So you can see how over the years, the people, there are a few people who are always there, and then there are other people constantly changing. So only a few people, and it is the funeral memorial service for my mother, okay, Jinghua Daxian. Okay, so again he came the following year. Okay, as the immediate, children, so we have to, this is the Chinese tradition in the funeral.
Put on sackcloth.
Burlap.
Christians call sackcloth, right?
B-U-R-L-A-P.
Yeah, it's basically coarse cotton or
Buy a
something.
bag of potatoes.
Coarse.
They won't make a bag.
It's very coarse. It's not comfortable.
So 2004, we grand opening here, dedication, and also then that day, the first day, we had that communion with our Jinghua Daxian with my mother. Okay, so this is a year later, through the sand writing, the channeling, that then so there's a booklet that of what she said. Okay. Yeah, you're doing Tsui. There's long gone. Maybe it was a 5 o'clock shadow or something. So you can see the temple, the wall. This was not here. This wall was not here. These was not. It was one big open area now. So now we have these smaller walls of these rooms. Yeah, it looks like a dragon. This flame. Okay, 2006 of a Dharma class. This is also here. This was a picture taken by Jean. Okay, it's on a regular film.
Where? Here?
And is that Dharma class in 2006. So now she didn't see the light. She just saw, because that's the Buddha, that's the Eight Immortals, Lansaiha, right? Yeah. So because basically she tied a rope with money on it.
Oh,
Because that's back then in the legend. I mean, or whatever. No, it's real. I mean, he did that. Okay, so he did that in Dharma class. And so she took this picture of him.
I didn't see the light.
After it was developed, then the light was there. Okay, so this light is like the glowing from the money.
And when I saw the picture, I said, "Oh,
there's something wrong."
That's the benefit for unbelievers.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, so this is if the Buddha wants you to see something, they'll show you. Okay, there's during that Dharma class, there are other lights that you'll see in some of these pictures. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these people, they don't come anymore, so you never see them again. So basically, to receive the Tao, attend a Dharma class, and stay in the Tao and cultivate is very few people do that. And unfortunately, that's unfortunate. So we also had this was a one-day repentance class. That's like maybe only the second time we've had a repentance class. It's very special. Repentance class, because the guardians of the law, they can reduce our debts during the class. Yeah, it's very strict. Yeah, this is the repentance class.
I have too much debt, too much sin. I'm a big sinner. I'm scared.
So here's some light here again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Chris. Yeah, see, there's light. It's Pura's son.
Yeah, that's
Pura.
They moved. Did they move?
从此不再有酸苦，从此不再受束缚，带着喜悦和满足，常伴此爱的老路。
So, those people who really keep the faith and sincerity is very few. Okay, so 2009, this is the first time we had the Dharma class in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and this is a temporary. We rented this place. Okay, actually today we're still renting place to have a Dharma class. We don't have a permanent temple yet.
That's like the tea
Yeah, it is the Golden Teapot. Okay, so this is a Vietnamese monk. Okay, so he also received the Tao.
因为您老的人。
Yeah, checking your watch.
好好天恩不敢辜负。
This is in California. This is a home temple, but basically there's a story about that time. I think this is the time. I don't know if this is the time that we drove. Did we drive cross country?
Yeah, I think
We drove cross country that time, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we drove cross country to the because we had these Dharma classes one after the other, right? Each
Right.
weekend. So after this, we went to Ohio, then Iowa, and then California. So we drove that time.
So this is at a family's house?
Well, this is Huang Jiang's house.
黄讲
Yeah.
黄玉章
The Hua, I know it's called I forgot.
黄玉章
Yeah, it's Huang Yizhan's temple. Okay, so, but anyways, yeah, the immortal of longevity, right? He was there the first day during the channeling, and because of that drive, I don't know, my back, something happened to my back. I couldn't bend. Okay, it's like it hurt my back, but I didn't say anything. But so the immortal of longevity, he's very merciful. I don't know. For some reason, he's very kind to everyone, but also to me. He looks after me. So there was another Daokin there, Yang Xiong. Okay, so he's walking. He had a problem with his leg, so he asked him and me to take the cane. Right, so you saw here he's like the immortal of longevity. He's always like this. Okay, so he's hunched back and with a cane. He walks around like that. So he asked us to walk around like that, grab a cane to walk around like that as well. Now, I didn't know why, but so we walked around a few times. And then afterwards, I noticed that, hey, my back is fine.
Wow.
Yeah, so he cured my back problem, my back pain. So very Buddhas, they're you might think it's nothing, it's just a little thing, but actually there's something behind it. So I'm very grateful to the immortal of longevity, definitely helping me.
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
老入红雪的幸福，所以无尽来自是男人。
Yeah, Zhou Hanyan, he also got that palsy. No, not cerebral. It's Bell's palsy. Yeah, this is okay. This is at Lecture Lu's home when he dedicated his shrine there, his home. Okay. Right, they're trying to. Yeah, so this is more recognizable. It's more recent pictures. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. So after this, you'll see that there's also we did perform that year a uplifting ceremony. So Sister Liang uplifted, I think, both her parents. Right. Okay. You'll see that. It's basically like receiving Tao, but she kind of in their place, kneeling in the altar. Oh, okay. Well, maybe not yet, but this is, okay. This is Ohio. This is Ohio. This is the temporary place, the old temple that there.
The second floor.
Hey, he's directing.
Oh, that's like
Yeah. Yeah, this was in the old temple.
Yeah, the old
It was
second
only
floor.
only there for like not too long.
1 year.
Yes.
Oh,
There
2
you are,
years.
gee.
Ah, so different, man.
This is your house, I think.
No, that's
Gee.
not. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
some
where,
recognition.
where you set up your shrine at home.
Some
Okay.
recognition.
So, 2010. Yeah, I think so. Oh, there's, wow, look who that is. Looks different. It looks so different. It's Virginia. That's Virginia.
Wow, so young back then.
You got 4 eyes.
诚心修本小神发现，抗战从军，忠诚廉洁，事业方
So
向
every year we have these Dharma classes. And so this year, of course, we won't have any channeling anymore. Okay, we won't have any channeling in our Dharma classes, and so and then we're also it won't be hopefully ideally now it's not going to be consecutive. Okay, so we have a break between. I mean, but they're still kind of bunched.
It's 1 month, right?
Yeah, one month. Yeah, well,
艰难不分日夜，将菜豆干搅埋眼前，困境连连，遇难不退，
Not easy,
考
huh?
验在崎岖。
that's our 2010 because in the fall then we had that event 2010, remember, and then we borrowed the Sansai to talents to have a Dharma class. And so this is that 2010 event. Yeah, Queen's College. Okay, so that's where all the different, Tao lineages come together.
Branches, yeah.
Yeah,
That used to be fun.
There's so many translators there, man. There were like
yeah, I don't know.
2,000 or something.
Yeah.
It was scary.
So remember, we had that communion with our grand predecessor, the San writing. Okay. No.
劳心劳力，喜舍慈悲。
No. It's just once.
For all the that's once for all the
This is the Andian. I don't know what you
Where
call
is
it.
this?
It is in New York. It is an Andian.
New York?
They because that it's an I don't know what
Where?
so the Andian those groups. They're like from or Hong Kong, Canton. They came to the U.S. and they have their own like organization. Yeah.
Yeah, they're charity organization.
Well, yeah, I don't know. They're like merchants. Yeah,
business
right.
association.
Business association. But they, yeah.
Oh, they also.
No. It's just.
They tried to bring the name but it was like really
饮水思源是民间条，同一日佛带动不歇，为道奔波东西南北，一生作则蓝国共推。
I think that's it.
西河
Yeah, well, I think they're done. They're done. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So that's it. Kind of a reminiscence here. Okay. So again, if I had said anything wrong, I asked the Buddha for forgiveness, and also Le Dao Zanjing for forgiveness.